Guys, it's John, and I wanted to talk about the spreads and such for a second. Some games I like for tomorrow, and we're going to do our daily recap that I do every single night on here. I wanted to go into this in a second. If you look at the against the spread metric, this is basically all we do. We fade teams that are good against the spread, we take teams that are bad. Doesn't always work out, but we do it in college, we do it across all sports, and it's pretty interesting because I always thank Chris. He's always making sure that our numbers are lined up. He always comments on the Patreon and makes sure that for the daily recap we have our numbers right. And he goes into each sport how we're doing. And it's pretty crazy because I knew we were doing good in tennis. Today was another day where tennis came through. It's funny, I'll put like a tennis video on YouTube and it's like the least favorite, but I think the people that just tail understand that it's about winning, and tennis does really well. So I love covering the NBA. I'm going to continue covering. We'll be covering more NBA games going forward, but for now, this is again just the picks I put every night here on the Patreon. I figured I'd throw it on YouTube too to go over, since we have a decent bit of NBA games for tomorrow. As far as our metrics, we're doing really well. So this was before today. This was yesterday. This was emailed by Chris, and you can see we were up 7.1. I thought we were up 8.1 yesterday. We had some games in play, so I wasn't exactly sure how we were going to finish. But we finished up 7.1, and you can see tennis is just killing it. And it's up, 28 units, up 61.4 since inception. That's before today, so we'll be up even more. Like I said, I think we'll get to 78 or 77 by the finals, whatever year it is. That would be nice. But anyway, this is a really interesting line here. So you can see tennis has done 23.85 units. And you look at the other sports, I wasn't exaggerating with hockey. There's a reason I pulled the plug on it. We were doing amazing with it. And he goes into a bunch of assessments here, but I just wanted to kind of condense it. But you can see we're in the profit with essentially every sport. College football we didn't play enough of, I don't think. And same with golf. We did 2 golf plays that were long shots. But either way, if you look at overall, everything's looking pretty good outside of hockey, which we kicked to the curb. And tennis is doing well. And this is what I found interesting. So he puts, because obviously juice matters, he puts into here units wagered. So you can see we put a lot of units on college basketball, and being up is what matters. But it's like a 2-point-something% return rate, whereas if you look at football, it's 11 something. Now, it's a small sample size, but tennis was our second best producer, right behind the football, 23.85. With only 67 units wagered, which is huge, up 35-something%. So there's a reason I love tennis, and I think we picked up 3 more today, so I think we're at 26.85. So for the time being, in a microscopic fraction of the plays, tennis is outperforming all of the others. So right now we are number 1 in tennis, and number 2 would be the NFL, number 3 is NBA, if you go by percentage, but it is really college basketball as far as units won, net units won, and then NBA is very close. Hockey we don't do anymore; it's been discontinued. You can see the abysmal negative 50-something% return rate, and we only wagered 41 units. That's how bad I did with hockey, but not bad. Again, looking up 61-something units, and I'm gonna go through today's plays. I know there's a lot of newer people that are just curious how the system works. I like to go into that stuff so people can see that I'm not just making it up. We've been doing this, again, we have 125 pages of plays that everyone's documented from the beginning. And I've been tracking them myself, but it just does help with Chris because he'll bring up stuff that I'll realize, oh man, that's a good point. Whether it's playing too many money lines, whether it's we're doing better with over-unders, so we play some more of them. Not doing so well with like hockey. That one I just decided no reason to play hockey. We're doing terrible with it. And tennis. We've been playing more tennis because that was coming through. So anyway, 7.1 was yesterday. Today, it really depends on how Pacific finishes. No matter what, we're going to be in the positive. But it could be double-digit unit positive if Pacific comes through. We're up 2 units because the Pistons covered. Again, a good one to not take the win. Thought about it. And decided, you know what, the Pistons are they're notorious for this type of deal, where they either blow a lead, but they get the cover, or they fight till the end but they don't win. So Pablo beat them on a ridiculous shot. So luckily we got the cover, 2 units. West Virginia covered, making it 3 units. Missed Ole Miss, so that's back down to 1 unit. We got Eastern Illinois over and Western Illinois over, both for a unit, so up 3 units. Davidson was another one. We went with the cover for 4 units. Had we gone with the win, we would not have got it, so that worked out. 7 units. Down to 6 because Queens. And we got Paolini for 4 units, putting us up 10 units. And it's 3 units on the sequence, meaning even accounting for the leg 1 that we lost, we profited 3 units. The reason it's 4 units on the day is because we already subtracted the 1 unit that we lost on a prior day. So it's 4 units on the day, but even 3 units on that sequence. So that's what I mean about the system. We're not always just going to profit 1 unit. So we lost leg 1 for a unit, then we played leg 2 for 2, and netted 3 units on the sequence. So really good there. And back to +9 because Serendulo did not win. So we could be at +13. Or even if it's, Pacific doesn't come through, +5, I'll take that. +7 yesterday. We had a +13 this week. We're having a very good week. And again, just really trudging forward, especially since we've incorporated more tennis, where you can see, again, I think tennis has now passed football. So very interesting. Yeah, so hopefully Pacific comes through. We'll be up 13 units on the day. If not, I'll take a 5-unit day. Currently, we're up 9 units with that last leg 4 in play, or leg 3 for 4 units in play. Now, I want to go into tomorrow's plays. I got the Hawks beating the Magic. It's a pick'em, basically. As you can see, we're slightly beating the juice. And it might not seem like a lot, but again, every plus decimal we can get, we're going to beat the juice. I got it for 4 units. Nobody should be on the Hawks. I know I keep saying this, and they'll get a stupid line and blow it. I just feel like way more people are going to be on the Magic here. Pick'em. Hawks barely going to make the play-in. Magic are a comfortable playoff team. I just don't get it. Hawks are the worst team, and this is another thing I wanted to show you guys. If you look at the spreads, Orlando is the best team in the NBA against the spread. They might have dropped a tiny bit after not covering against Detroit, but still probably the best team against the spread if they move to 37-21. And then the worst team against the spread by almost 10 points is the Hawks. So the public is probably not going to love the Hawks there, and it won't hold up over the course of a season. You're not going to have teams. You see 58 is the highest. We had a 38 here as the lowest. And if you go back as far as you want, you'll see that. So the Hawks are about 10% below history. The Magic are about 5% above history. I just don't see it holding. And it seems like a trap to boot. So that's kind of how I make these picks. It's not about what game's the most fun or any of that stuff. So anyway, Hawks beat Magic 4 units. Rockets, I got them winning. I like the cover because if you saw on the spreadsheet there, the Thunder were right below the Magic at 62.8% or something. So it's a good spread play. But for 1 unit, I think the Rockets need this win. I think they're going to make a play-in, run. So they need to win some games like this. So I think they're going to win here. Kind of looks like a trap too. So I got the Rockets for 1 unit. I got the Nuggets cover here, -1.5. 1 unit. My logic's basic. It's the Nuggets swept the Lakers. And I think it would be interesting if they swept the Warriors too, just because they're 2 top teams out of the West. It'll really set things up in the playoffs, and they're 3-0 against the Warriors right now. So I think they're going to continue the sweep, and Warriors have been looking pretty good. Had some pretty good games, so public is probably going to be on them too, I would think, at home. So I like the Nuggets here for 1 unit. Bulls just looks like a trap. Same deal as Hawks Magic. People would actually buy the Pelicans as a team who might be able to make a playoff run. You cannot sell people on that with the Bulls. I don't understand how they're getting this line. Them and the Hawks get similar lines all year, and I find it ironic. Not ironic, but coincidental that it's your 2 play-in teams, and for some reason they keep getting these weird lines where they could be playing the Knicks, they could be playing the Bucks, and they're just not. They're getting like 3-4 points. It doesn't make any sense. Here they're a pick 'em against the Pelicans. So I like the Bulls for a unit. I like the Sixers to cover the Bucks because I think they might win, to be honest. Mostly because Doc, obviously, the Pat Beverly nonsense. I feel like it might be like a little bit of a penance, and they can say, "Oh, this is why Doc's not a great coach. Nick Nurse won without the best player. Doc has this great team, can't win." So even if they lose, I love getting the 4.5. So for 2 units, I love the Sixers to cover. And on the college, I got Wright State Oakland going under. Wright State at like 77% on the over. And it's nothing crazy. There has been tiny teams that have done it, but like high 70s. But typically they're going to finish in the lower 70s. And there's still a few teams in the mid to high 70s. More public will probably be on the over. So I got them going under for a unit. Nebraska covers 6.5. I got that for 4 units. So we got that in the Hawks. Two teams that have let us down all year, Minnesota and the Hawks, because they keep defying history. I think towards the end of the year here, they start paying us out. So there's no way people aren't going to be on Minnesota, probably even on the money line. They're almost at 90% covering. I think this win would put them there or really close, this cover. So yeah, I got Nebraska covering the 6.5 or 4 units. Maurice St. Peter's, it's a pretty low line, so I'm not going crazy. But Maurice is the worst team on the over this year, so I got that going over for a unit. And SMU USF are in like the 30 percentile on the over, mid 30s, nothing crazy. But I do wonder why it's set at 146. So for that reason, I like the over 146. So yeah, like I said, we're looking good. Again, you can go back as far as you want. You're going to see these teams always finish like really close, high 30s, low 60s. The same could be applicable to the over-under. Actually, we started fading the Pacers a lot. They were at 80%, and look, they're going to be out of the top 10 soon. And I told people this was going to happen. They go on a crazy streak, everyone starts slamming it, and then all of a sudden they hit the brakes. And if you go back again, this is last year on the over-under, 41 was the lowest. So there's a reason I like these spreads. They do work out, and over the long run, they definitely pay out. Unfortunately, no tennis tomorrow. Couldn't find any real matches. There's a couple later tonight, but obviously they either started already or they're starting very soon. And I didn't love them anyway. And we did good with our tennis today. Only 2 plays, but again, 3 units. And we only wagered 3, so definitely a good return, which is seeming to be the theme with tennis as far as our return rate. Just really high return rate as far as the other sports. Only 67 units. And now we're up 27 units, I think, or 26.8, which just edges out football on only, 30 or 70 units wagered. So doing really good with tennis, and I think that'll continue. I think it'll be even easier once the French comes along and the different majors. Once we start heading into the majors, they want to establish certain people. So since we're doing so good on the minors, getting close to 100 units are wagered, so it's not like it's a small sample anymore. And, again, almost twice as what we did with hockey. So definitely looking good. I'm going to incorporate as much tennis as we can. But yeah, let's hope Pacific comes through. Plus 13 day would be nice. If they don't, a plus 5 day is definitely still acceptable. I will take that. And I think we're going to finish out the week strong tomorrow. So take care and happy earnings.